why it's coming out now is we wanted to wait, to get through all of the legal proceedings, the criminal trial, and it's four parts, and it spans over 30 years of, pop culture, his life. So it took some time, to say the least, to put all of this together.
The moment 50 Cent's Netflix documentary hit on Tuesday, it captured everyone's focus with its gripping pace and eye-opening details. Inside, it presents first-hand accounts from those who stood near Diddy, offering insights into his world that outsiders rarely glimpse. Featuring unseen footage and stories long kept private, the documentary pieces together a dramatic view of his climb to fame, the controversies that followed, and the hidden network that shaped his empire. Episode 2 of Sean Combs' The Reckoning brings former Bad Boy Records artists and insiders to the forefront, sharing what they personally witnessed after the deaths of Biggie Smalls and Tupac. Their stories are rooted in memory and perspective, not hard proof, yet they reveal the tension of the time. Figures like Mark Curry, Roxanne Johnson, Craig Mack's former wife, and co-founder Kirk Burroughs discuss an empire stretched thin under intense pressure and divided by the growing East Coast-West Coast feud. Their recollections highlight how those years reshaped 90s hip-hop forever.
The detective that worked on Tupac and Biggie's case in this documentary. He is the investigator that did that proffer agreement with Keefe D way back in 2008, where Keefe D alleged that Diddy tried to offer him $1 million to take out Tupac and Suge Knight. And Tupac's trial with Keefe D is coming up very soon in early 2026. And we know that Diddy's name has been dropped at least 200 times during these first.
This documentary exposes hidden moments and overlooked details, making it one of the most revealing examinations of Diddy's controversies to date. As of now, he's in a federal facility in New Jersey, serving a 50-month sentence for unlawful transportation under the Mann Act, a ruling that came earlier this year. Although he was cleared of the more serious organized crime allegations, public attention and scrutiny around him have only intensified.
I honestly, when I look back on it, if he trusted Sean more, it would have been better. But he didn't trust him as much as the way Sean says they were best friends after he was dead. Nah, I didn't see that during the time we were.
This isn't your typical recap documentary. It introduces fresh revelations already stirring media frenzy and public debate. Exclusive behind-the-scenes footage captures Diddy inside a New York hotel only 6 days before his arrest. Filmed by a videographer he hired himself. The clips show him deep in conversation with his attorney, responding to the constant news coverage and the way it's reshaping his reputation. It's a rare, candid window into his state of mind, revealing a mix of frustration, careful planning, and mounting concern during a critical moment in his life.
The whole time for Aubrey O'Day to reveal some major story that happened between her and Diddy. 3 episodes in, she's basically just talking about Diddy in a very general way. It isn't until the 4th episode that Aubrey reveals a witness walked in on Aubrey O'Day completely inebriated with Diddy doing things to her, as well as a second man who they refer to as a light-skinned, tall man. Details are very explicit and not anything I could share on here.
Hearing someone speak this candidly just before an indictment is extremely rare, especially during discussions usually shielded by attorney-client confidentiality. Legal analysts note that having a videographer in the room may have unintentionally breached standard protections. Diddy's representatives told NBC News the footage was recorded without permission. They claimed they didn't know how it reached Netflix and emphasized that the videographer was bound by strict contractual rules to keep all conversations private and off limits to the public.
It looked like the coast was clear. We were renegotiating with Arista. We were about to get a step up in the money. I had 25% of the company. I didn't know why he needed to get that back from me and then give it back to me again. I didn't understand that. That's like a trick. Like, okay, here, I gave it to you. Now give it back. And don't worry, I'm going to give it right back to you. I didn't want to give it up. So he came into my office one day unexpected, him and Kenny Marsalis. They had it planned out. Kenny had the briefcase with all the stock certificates in it. And Diddy had the bat. Not like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you with the bat. But he had the bat like, man, we got to do this. This has to happen.
This series reintroduces people from all chapters of Diddy's career. Past collaborators, performers, and longtime associates provide a front row view of his journey and cultural influence. Their recollections help audiences understand what it was like to be close to him during some of hip-hop's defining moments. Oreo Day from Making the Band is one of these voices, reflecting on her time working with Diddy. Her insights give the episode emotional weight, highlighting both the doors he opened and the obstacles faced in his creative universe.
Money, Pac wanted to leave, and it could be some other shit that was going on, but they still created an atmosphere for that. You understand that East Coast, West Coast bullshit. When Suge was trying to use the New York guys to, okay, man, come on, let's make some sense of this shit. And have a meeting and sit down with the New York guys and ask for a representative for Puff to come on. Puff was mad. You see now why Puff was mad. Everybody know now why Puff was mad. That he didn't want nobody to come to the meeting because Suge was playing Pay Daddy.
Someone who once dated Kim Porter has stepped forward, revealing first-hand observations from his time close to her family. In addition, former bodyguard Roger Bonds recounted incidents where he claims Diddy behaved aggressively toward Cassie. Bonds said that his initial respect for Diddy eroded over time as he witnessed actions that conflicted with the public image of the rapper. According to him, the private reality behind the scenes was far darker than many people realized.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you. Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting shot. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in the back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside there?
I seen a bullet going Suge head. I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead.
So Orlando started across Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window. Pop.
He tried to challenge the situation in court, but judges dismissed his case, citing the statute of limitations. Despite that, he continues to face other legal battles from his time in the music industry, showing the fallout isn't over even decades later. The episode then dives into one of hip-hop's defining clashes, the legendary Bad Boy versus Death Row rivalry. This East Coast-West Coast conflict reshaped headlines, culture, and the sound of an era. Death Row had icons like Dr. Dre and Tupac, while Bad Boy featured Biggie, Faith Evans, 112, and Maze. But insiders tell a different story. The tension wasn't mainly from the artists. According to several interviewees, it was the executives, particularly Sean Combs, who kept the rivalry alive and pushed it to explode on a national scale. According to the documentary, what started as a simple music label rivalry quickly spiraled into a dangerous street-level war. Sources say the Crips aligned with Bad Boy and Biggie, while Suge Knight and Death Row found support from the Bloods. The conflict turned into a layered power struggle with deadly consequences. At the heart of the tensions is Diddy's alleged link to Eric Von Zip, a mentor-type figure connected to Dwayne Keefe Davis, tied to New York street circles. The series features recordings and commentary from ex-LAPD detective Greg Kading, with Davis detailing his role and his nephew Orlando Anderson's in the 1996 Las Vegas shooting that claimed Tupac's life. According to Davis, Diddy allegedly promised money to him and others to go after Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight during the 1996 attack. The payments never happened, Davis claims, partly because Suge survived and partly because the funds reportedly disappeared with Eric Von Zip, now deceased. While these claims are unverified and disputed, they layer more intrigue onto an already tangled story. The documentary presents them, highlighting lingering mysteries from one of hip-hop's darkest moments. Meanwhile, Burroughs states that Diddy encouraged Christopher Wallace, better known as Biggie, to head to Los Angeles to promote his album, a trip that ended tragically with his 1997 murder.